Hello, my loves. Hello, beautiful people. I just want to say that before we get started, I really appreciate all the support I got on my last video. I hope any of those tips actually, helped you out. But I just wanted to say thank you, and there's so much more to come. And today, I really want to talk about understanding yourself. I think it's really important that we understand ourselves. I think it goes without saying that most people don't know themselves, or we constantly find ourselves in some sort of denial. So if you're one of those people, this video is for you. I think I honestly needed one of these talks when I was younger too. This actually came about because I was talking to someone. And when I was talking to her, she was actually a little bit younger than me, and a lot younger than me, and we were having a conversation, and it was just really interesting to just be reminded of what it's like when there are younger women out there, younger people out there, and you're just a little bit older and you've been through some things that you can relate, but at the same time you don't have to go through those same things anymore, because the benefit is you know yourself, right? So, you know how people will say, oh, if I was younger again, like, I wish I was like 16 again or 18 again. For me, no thank you. I would much rather be 25 than 18 again. And I just say that, and you should be saying that too, to a certain extent, because when you're young, you make mistakes. And sometimes, even though they're learning lessons, sometimes we don't listen and hear that they're like lessons, or, you just go through dumb mistakes and waste time sometimes, versus when you're an adult, you can kind of foresee some problems or mistakes that could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you know good and well that you are not a structured person, 9 to 5 probably is not the life for you. You want something more exciting. You want something to do every day versus, just sitting at a desk, sitting 9 to 5, doing the same thing every day. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that you know who you are, and there are benefits to being older. And if you are young, don't worry that you're going to have some time, and at some point you're going to know yourself. But that also means that you have to take the time to know yourself so that when you get older, you don't waste time and you can actually reap the benefits of being who you are, knowing who you are. You know what I mean? So I think it's really important that you have to dig into who you are. You got to dig up things to figure out who you really are. And when I say that, I mean, like, look at your triggers. What pisses you off, or what makes you super happy, or what makes you so irritated, And that just means looking at your emotions, like, what are you feeling in this moment? And why are you feeling that emotion? Because most times as adults, when we feel certain things, sometimes it could be the person, but also too, sometimes it could be the situation. And because it's not our first time being there, you know what I mean? So it could be because of something that happened in the past and you felt like that in that moment, and now it's reproducing into your everyday life and you're still reacting the same way, and because you never addressed it. You never addressed what happened in the past. You never forgave yourself, or maybe forgave that other person, or just addressed it, acknowledged it, and tried to move on. Most times when things happen to us, we just kind of brush past it. We keep it moving because we got other things to do, but it's really not helpful, because then when it comes down to, if it happens again, we're flipping out, or we're having the same response like all over again, So I think it's really important when digging deep that you understand your triggers, you understand your emotions, and also look at your upbringing. I always say that either when you're growing up, either you run away from what you know, or you run towards what you know. So, if you grew up having some tradition in your family and you hated that tradition every year you hate that tradition. When you get older, you're probably not going to continue that same tradition when you have your freedom. But if it's something that's all you knew, that's what comforts you because that's what you were taught and that's what you learned, you're more likely to do that as an adult by yourself, So upbringing, really, as much as we try to act like it doesn't affect us, or that once we get an adult, we can run away from it, it still is with us regardless. It's the foundation of who we are, whether it's for the good or the bad, the beautiful or the ugly. And it just all depends on how we look at it and how we approach it and how we process it to help us move forward and to actually contribute to, who we are. So I think it's really important to, just remember when you are sitting and processing who you are, if there's certain things that you don't like about yourself, the saying goes, we want to treat the disease, not the symptoms. So I think it's really funny because sometimes when I see some of my parents, they're telling me things about the kid like, well, they talk back and they cuss and don't clean their room and they're running out at night and all these things, which are really symptoms. They're not the disease. The disease is something that's probably going on at home that nobody talks about. And we really need to treat the disease because if you're sick, you're going to cough. Why treat the cough when you can treat the actual virus that's in your body? You know what I mean? So I think it's just really important for you to know your disease. Understand what your disease is. Because I'm telling you, once you sit and you figure out what's really you, the journey is indescribable. I'm not saying it's not going to be painful, because it might be depending on what you've been through, but it's a lesson that you wouldn't sell for $1 million. It's kind of like you're freed because you know who you are. You know what you're willing to do and what you're not willing to do, what's going to be best for you and what's not going to be best for you. It's so rewarding to know who you are and to have acceptance, And I think it's really hard for especially young kids and social media. Oh my gosh. I like social media, but I definitely know when it's time for me to take a break from social media, take a break from posting, take a break from looking at stuff, because it's like the things that are posted on social media just make it seem like that's supposed to be your reality. And when it's not your reality or that's not who you are, you feel bad about yourself. But no, you need to take time to figure out who you really are, and just remember that social media is not one of those things that you should be basing yourself upon, So I think it's really important just to make sure that you know yourself. In some ways, to make sure that you can do that, everybody has their own process. But some ways that I have really found helpful is journaling. I know people don't like to write sometimes, but honestly, journaling is one of those things where you can really look inward and be like, wow, like I said that, or wow, I thought that in that moment. Like, why is that so? And journaling is one of those things too where you can look at it from, let's say you started journaling last year in December, or you started now in January. By the time March, April, May, June, or whatever comes along, you have at least 3 to 4 months or 5 months or whatever of time to look to see what you've written, to who you are, what you focus on, what's the most important to you. Because I probably, like some people, my mind runs 50 miles a minute. And my hand does too. Like, I can't write as much as my brain is actually thinking. So most times I end up paraphrasing, or I put down the most important points because I'm like, all the extra feelings don't really matter right now because I got too much in my head and my hand can't push it all out because it's cramping. So, so when I look back now, because I did used to journal, I don't journal as much anymore. I do sometimes, but not always. And when I look back, the things that I cared about or the things that I talked about was just kind of like, wow, like, so I think it's just really important, when you journal, you can actually see yourself. You can see how you sound, you can see what you think about, and then you can actually come to a decision or at least some sort of answer as to what person you are, what you focus on, what are your traits. If, hey, I was selfish in that moment, or hey, I was selfless in that moment. You know what I mean? So I think that's a benefit. Like, you could really use journaling, but I've had people too that want to draw instead. Draw or paint. I'm not artistic, but there are people out there that are and that don't want to be sitting down writing the essay, which I get. So whatever artistic form or whatever ability to just create something tangible that will help you just see yourself or represent who you are, give it a shot. Why not? You know? And then I also say that sometimes too, being alone really helps you find yourself, especially for my people out there that give so much love and give so much support to other people, but you never give it to yourself, to the point you don't even know who you are. You don't know what you like. You don't know what to do when you're alone because you're always with somebody, or you're always giving to someone else, or this person. Well, what do you want for dinner? Whatever you want, person. And not just because not just because you don't know what you want to eat, so you just let them choose, but I just want to accommodate to you and whatever you want to eat. No, pick your food. Know what you like to eat, you know? But seriously, that person that's always giving to other people and not giving to yourself, I'm talking to you and other people, but I'm talking to you because I used to be one of those people as well, where in your free time, you don't know what to do. You don't know what you like. You don't know what interests you because you're always on the move. You're always so busy. But really, take that time to yourself to figure out what you like. Because once you do, it's like, wow, I didn't know I was really interested in golf, or I didn't know I was really interested in beauty or whatever. Like, it's such a beautiful journey to figure out who you are and what you're good at. And it creates self-love. And we all need self-love. I actually want to do a video on self-love, but I'm gonna save that for another time. But no, seriously, you can't have self-love if you don't know who you are. How are you gonna love who you don't know? How are you gonna accept who you don't know? Exactly. You don't know. And then, like we had already kind of talked about, make sure that you reflect on your responses, how you respond to things, why you responded to them that way. You know what I mean? It really gives you some insight into who you are, what you feel. Are you like a person that is easily irritated? Are you a person that's patient? You know, are you a person that's kind, or are you a person that's selfish? And, you know, in the process, I just want you guys to make sure that you accept who you are and love that person. If they're a work in progress, they're a work in progress. If it's not going to change, then baby, probably it's just not going to change. But, you know, accept and know who you are, because that's very important. So I hope any of these things that I said, like, they were useful for you. They made you think a little bit about yourself and stop just putting it in the back burner and then wondering why your sack is getting kind of heavy because you ain't addressing what you're supposed to address. So you can know yourself. Know yourself. It's so, so important, and you will be rewarded heavily, I promise. You won't have to go through too much BS, or like you will love you. And if you don't love you, change. We're evolving creatures. We change every day. Why not, instead of investing in other people, hoping for them to change, invest in yourself. Invest in who you are, because you matter. Your life matters, and you are worth being happy. And the way to get that is to know you. Know what you really want. Stop lying to yourself, or stop avoiding it. And if you're young, find yourself. Explore. Figure it out. Because time is of the essence, and it's one of the best things you'll ever do. That's something you won't trade for $1 million. So anyway, guys, that is all I had to say. I just want to say thank you for all the support I got on my last video. It was amazing. If there are any things in particular that you guys want me to discuss, I kind of have, like, you know, some more ideas. But if there's anything in particular that you want me to discuss, or things that I've just found talking to my clients, my friends, just people around me, let me know. So yeah, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. Until next time, bye.